Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wake the hell up, turn the volume way up, because we've got this week's episode of the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. And damn it, it's a big one we've all been waiting for. I'm your host, Matt Coble, joined by my guy, Max Faulkner, and back with us again, our guy, Zach Widlowski. Zach, what's up, man?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again.
Heck yeah. Big episode to bring you on here. We're doing a top 15 quarterback countdown. Max, how excited are you for this one?
Oh my goodness. Yesterday I was doing these rankings and I started drooling a little bit onto the desk. Got a little moist in here. Definitely
Really?
always got to have napkins handy. Okay. I would also say have a bib handy when making these rankings, everybody, but definitely some napkins in case you make a mess. Super freaking excited, Cole Breeze. Yeah, couldn't be any more ecstatic. One thing I got to ask though, Zach, before we started this podcast, you said you did that wallpaper yourself. The background right there, you did that. You did that yourself.
You better fucking believe it.
Fucking believe it.
We got a handyman in the house, boys and girls.
I wouldn't say
Handyman.
too handy.
That
It was a pain. I was losing my temper, I'll say, while I was doing it.
well, did you take that temper out on anybody or anything?
Cat.
Nah, I couldn't hit a cat. You kidding me?
No, of course not. Of course not.
For everyone that doesn't know enough about Zach, Zach owns a cat shelter in the backyard. It's a shed. It's a
In the
in
yard.
his shed in the yard. He got it at the Home Depot, and probably like how many cats, Zach? 30, 40? We push it 50
Well,
yet?
this is all false. I have 2 cats.
I was gonna say it's
I don't have a
divide
shed
that
in
by
the
10.
backyard. I wish, but no, I have no shed.
Down to two. Damn. But in a new home now, Zach. That's why we see this new wallpaper, doing a lot of painting.
Oh yeah.
Anything else with the remodeling there at the house?
No, I'll send you some pictures of the garden I put in the front yard, but other than that, just slowly but surely working room to room.
That's awesome. That's
Nice,
awesome. What
nice.
how were you feeling about doing these quarterback rankings, Zach? How'd you break these guys down?
You know what? I definitely went it by fantasy production and, of course, of real life results of how successful the quarterbacks are. But definitely this year there is a mix up of what there has been in the past. I'd say
Some new
there's
guys,
some new faces.
jumping to the top, huh?
Oh yeah.
Definitely excited. And yeah, like we said, we got a big quarterback countdown. Fantasy football's rolling here, training camp's going. It's August 7th, damn it, boys. Next week. Just looking forward. We're doing wide receiver rankings. Week after that, running back rankings. 2 weeks after the 2 weeks after that, divisional breakdowns. We'll have Zach back on for one of those. I think Zach, you might have said NFC West or something, but we'll have Zach back
I'll
on
do
for
one of those
one of those.
wacky ones.
Yeah, we'll have you on for a random one for sure. But yeah, this week, big countdown. But just rewinding a couple days ago, had Zach over, had our trophy celebration with T-Bone was here and Sam, the new champion.
From one champ to another, congratulations from a former queef to a current conqueror. You earned this shit and that shit.
As the commissioner of the Indy Lurches. Commissioner of the Indy Lurches, I wanted to shake your hand. You're a little occupied. I gotta shake your hand. From being the calendar bitch to the diaper bitch, my goodness, the new champion, the Indy Lurches.
Anything is possible. I get on. You see it. You see it.
And Zach, what were your thoughts from Sunday?
Wonderful time. I just couldn't help but notice there was one person missing from the league that could have been there.
That lives in the state of Colorado?
I mean, he was what, 15 minutes away?
15 to 20. Max, you saw the video. What do you think about that little celebration, getting the trophy from T-Bone? He flies it out here from Indiana, gives it to Sam here in Colorado.
Great celebration, guys. It looked like you had a good time. Good time. Looks like a lot of beesies. Trevor might he probably didn't even get home. He might be still sleeping in the back of your shed there, Zach. But pretty fun. I love the fact that you guys took one take. We're not actors here. We don't play pretend. Here. Okay, we speak our mind. We speak exactly what's happening as far as the sports world goes. And hey, Sam, he's getting a little cocky. Though I gotta say, he's getting a little cocky there. He says he drinks his own piss. You heard it in the text. You saw it in the text.
Sterile.
Drinks his own piss. It's sterile. It's sterile. Good for him. I bet he drinks a lot of Mountain Dew. He looks like a Mountain Dew guy. So probably tastes like Mountain Dew. His piss probably tastes like Mountain Dew. So Sam, congratulations on the trophy, but they ain't gonna be there too long. That's all I gotta say. They ain't gonna be there too long this year. Someone else is going to take the crown, obviously, and it's too early to tell, but I think we all got a 10% shot.
10% shot, exactly, Max. You could look at it that way for sure. Before we get into this quarterback countdown, I want to talk about the new kickoff rules, boys, because it could have some fantasy implications here. Let's talk about it real quick. Everyone on the kickoff team, besides the kicker, lines up on the receiving team's 40-yard line. So the opposite 40, okay? The receiving team needs 9 players lined up in the setup zone, a 5-yard area between the 30 and the 35. 7 of those 9 players need to have a foot on the 35. So the kickoff team's on the 40 and the return team's on the 35. We're 5 yards apart from each other, okay? A maximum of 2 returners may line up in the landing zone. No one besides the kicker and the 2 returners can move until the ball is either caught or hits the ground. So this is really going to stop those head-on car crashes that we see, guys getting paralyzed, guys missing seasons over these head-on full-speed collisions. This is going to stop all that. And also it's going to add some more excitement. There's going to be more returns. Yeah. Last season, the NFL saw 73% of their kickoffs as touchbacks. 73% of kickoffs were touchbacks last year. That was the most since 1970. So let's discuss this. Special teams coordinators are in the works right now. We're thinking that we're going to have more fantasy relevant players returning kicks. So let me give you this example. Say Miami puts Tyreek Hill back there. Let's say Miami puts Tyreek Hill back there, and he returns one. Do the fantasy points go to the Tyreek Hill owner, or does it go to the Miami defense special teams? Max?
You're asking me like just I mean
that's what fantasy owners have to decide right now.
Oh, we have an option, you're saying?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
My goodness gracious.
Never had an option before.
So let's say Tyreek Hill is back there. He returns one. Do those points go to the fantasy team that owns the Miami defense special teams, or do those points go to the Tyreek Hill owner?
Wow.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I still kind of feel we should keep it with the defense. Reason being is, kick returners. A lot of those are a specialty. Like that's what they do. Devin Hester back in his day, he was just a kick returner, and then he turned into a wide receiver. One of the best kick returners of all time. No one will ever forget about that Indianapolis Colts return right off the bat. Super Bowl, baby. I would stay still the defense because Tyreek Hill, he's just a freak. He can do anything on the field, basically. But how many wide receivers or running backs are returning? I would like to know. That's a good question. I would leave it in the comments, people, if you know more than we do. But
I believe with these rule changes, we're going to see more guys back there, more guys that are on our fantasy teams back there. It's going to eliminate these third string guys that are only special teams guys. I think with this, I mean, it's going to be a whole new play. 73% of kickoffs were touchbacks. We're going to be putting fantasy relevant guys back there. Zach, what do you think we should do in fantasy?
Well, I like what Max said. A lot of those kick returners, a lot of them aren't going to be on people's rosters.
Right.
So to get the points, so we're not losing them. I like the idea of keeping with the defense and special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm leaning that way also.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see like a Jahmyr Gibbs get put back there for the Detroit Lions, and he gets scooting to the house, and somebody like Devontae Smith for the Eagles, maybe a little too small, but he gets in open space, and a Devontae Smith owner could have a problem with that, saying, "Oh, I deserve those points because I lost out on the offensive drive on that turnaround." But I'm leaning that way with you guys also, but definitely it's going to be a discussion, and next year we might be a situation where we have to put it in because everybody's returning kicks that are on our roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last thing before we get into this quarterback countdown. Yesterday, San Francisco 49er head coach Kyle Shanahan said that star running back, fantasy MVP, Christian McCaffrey will miss the remainder of the preseason with a calf strain. Now, we didn't expect to see CMC in any preseason games, but the fact that he's not going to be practicing, the fact that he's not going to be getting reps in, yeah, he's a veteran. He doesn't really need these reps, but calf strain makes me nervous. Zach, you're sitting here. We're in a two-keeper league in our fantasy football league, two keepers, and you've kept Christian McCaffrey. You've kept him through his injury-riddled seasons. You've kept him for more than half a decade by now. How do you feel when you heard this news, Zach?
This particular news, I was not too worried about. I think they are just really trying to just save their asset. He is in phenomenal shape, so him sitting out in these practices isn't gonna make him any less athletic on the field. He's gonna be game time ready. And he's had multiple injuries in the past, so I really think they're just being cautious. It's preseason, so they're just not gambling on him getting hurt during this. The reports I was reading, they really, I mean, they could be, keeping things from the public, of course, but it really sounded like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Max, are you going to agree with Zach here that it's not really a big deal, knowing Christian McCaffrey's injury history and the fact that this is a calf strain for a running back?
Calf strain makes me nervous. Okay, we have seen players that have had injuries like this before, and then they miss games. Okay, they miss games. That's obviously the biggest scare right now for you, Zach. Is he ready to go in 4 weeks? Is he going to miss a couple games as the season starts? Also, 49ers real quick. I know they went to the Super Bowl last year. It seems like they have their full team back, but okay, Christian McCaffrey, a little bit banged up. Deebo Samuel, are they going to sign him? Brandon Ayuk wants to get traded. He said, trade me. Those guys go. Deebo says, I'm out. And Ayuk says, I'm out. Who the hell is Brock Purdy going to throw it to? And, I guess we'll be talking about Brock Purdy in a minute here, but 49ers, a little shaky right now. A little shaky.
On the fence with the 49ers, huh? Zach, finish us up here. Are you still keeping Christian McCaffrey? Who's your next option if you had a next guy that you would throw in? Who's your next option there besides Derrick Henry? We know you got the king back here over my left shoulder going to Baltimore, already in the keeper lock.
Yeah, I had a lot of good players on my team last year, but no real keeper. We'll say keeper quality type players. If worst comes to worst, Chris McCaffrey, I'd say he dies. I guess I'd keep Puka Nacua.
That's
a solid option.
That's what I thought.
But I really think his production is going to go down this year because I think Cooper Kupp's going to come back and play better than he has. And then fucking, Stafford is going to have his. I know he plays favorites. He can't have two favorites.
Yeah, Puka's going to definitely be an interesting discussion next week for those wide receivers.
Cooper Kupp, I'll tell you right now, he's got some bad ankles. He's got some bad ankles as a wide receiver. He makes me nervous as far as drafting him for fantasy football.
We'll see.
Tape has been looking good in preseason so far and in training camps. We'll see. We will definitely see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys, let's get in this quarterback countdown.
Yeah.
What everybody came out here for, what everybody came this week to see, to hear. A couple nuggets real quick. Last season, we saw 67 different quarterbacks start a game. 67 different quarterbacks started a game last season. And 43 different quarterbacks had a top 12 fantasy performance. My goodness.
Wow.
My goodness. Last stat, and these stats are courtesy of the fantasy footballers, by the way. Over the last decade, an average of only 4.2 top 10 quarterbacks repeat as top 10 quarterbacks the following season.
Oh.
So you got to go back and look at last year's top 10 and only pick 4 of those guys to be top 10 this year. Quarterbacks, there's a lot of new faces, boys, like we were saying. But like we said, we got a top 15. But just to back it up, 5 more spots. We got 20 names here to go through real quick. Number 20, the last guy who slipped in, the number 20 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year is going to be Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
And he was really carried by Zach. Zach, in a sentence or two, why are you high on Baker Mayfield at number 14?
Well, as he's, as the years gone on, he's become more and more consistent. And he has Mike Evans. Mike Evans is one of the most consistent, best wide receivers in the league. He could put up numbers. I mean, obviously, he's not your first option as quarterback in your league, but he is a good backup option.
Baker was QB10 last year. Before last year, he had never been better than QB16. So I'm out on Baker. I'm out on Baker for sure.
Definitely. As far as the top 10 goes that you were talking about from the fantasy footballers, they're bringing up only 4 quarterbacks would be in the top 10. Baker ain't going to be in the top 10.
Oh, that's
number one.
That's one guy. That's one guy you're kicking out for sure. Number 19 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast, Aaron Ayahuasca Rodgers slipped in there, really carried by UMax at number 12 overall. Why are you so excited about a 40-year-old coming off an Achilles tear?
Because he's ready to go. He's ready to roll. He took plenty of ayahuasca, and he shit his pants enough to cut back and get slimmed down. This was a guy they were talking about. He was going to come back at the end of the season. They said that his Achilles injury, he's going to come back. He's going to come back. Maybe if they were fighting for the playoffs, maybe, but no. Dude, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, I think they signed Mike. I think they signed Mike Williams.
They signed Mike Williams. Who they just cleared today, Mike Williams.
Aaron Rodgers is in the Jets defense, by the way.
Solid.
Very, very solid. Okay, very, very solid. I got Aaron Rodgers at number 12, everybody, and the reason being is this guy's an MVP. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's got a little bit left in him. Expect a good season. Top 10, a top 10 season? Maybe. It might be a top 10 quarterback season for Aaron Rodgers.
Sharing his ayahuasca with you, I see. Damn. The number 18 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year is going to be Kirk Cousins, another older guy, 36, coming off an Achilles tear. He was really carried by Zach. Zach, in a sentence or two, why are you high on Kirk Cousins, number 12 for you?
I like him. I mean, he consistently shows that he is a high caliber quarterback. With the new team, he's got something to prove. He's in an easier division now, being in the NFC South. So I think he could do what do some work down there with Bijan, Drake London. I'm not too high on Kyle Pitts, but maybe Kyle Pitts starts breaking out because he actually has a quarterback thrown to him.
We've been saying that for 3 years.
Yeah.
The number 17 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year is going to be rookie Jaden Daniels, who I'm super high on, boys. I got him number 12.
Okay.
I got Jaden Daniels number 12. I think he's got rookie of the year potential. I think he's going to outscore Caleb Williams, who we're going to talk about later. I think he's going to outscore him in fantasy. Jaden Daniels, he combined for 50 touchdowns last year, 50 touchdowns at LSU. Ran for ran for over 1,100 yards. A lot of potential. He's going to have the ball in his hands all day long. I like Jaden Daniels a lot, a lot more than you guys. Number 17 for him. And lastly, here, the number 16 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year. I'm a little sad to say it. A little sad to say we're not going to get deep into this guy. But Justin Herbert. Herbert. I think all three of us are pretty much out on him. Max, you lived in LA for a while. You saw Justin Herbert in person. I would say that you and I are both fans of Justin Herbert. Zach, I don't know your opinion on him, but Max, why are you out on Herbert this year?
Oh man, Justin Herbert is for one thing, he's hurting. He doesn't feel he's a little bit hurt from last season. Let me just bring up the options that he has, okay? Let's go running back real quick. Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Mr. J.K. Dobbins, who might be rolling out in a wheelchair like Kenny Kawaguchi from Backyard Football. Great games. Wide receiver 1, Joshua Palmer. Not bad, but not like
not a wide receiver 1.
No, not a Keenan Allen. Not a CD Lamb, not a Justin Jefferson. Ooh. And then what else we got? What is this? Lad McCaffrey? Did I get that right?
Lad McConkey from Georgia.
McConkey? Sorry. Lad McConkey, DJ Chark, and then Will Dissly is the tight end. He's got no weapons. He's got nothing. This is a down season for the Chargers. They're rebuilding right now with Coach Harbaugh. It's a bummer because I've been saying for a few years now that I think Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in the league because he's just that talented. This is going to be his year where it's a down year.
Yeah, Zach, you're right there with us. I got Herbert 14th, Max at 20th, Zach in the middle there at 16th. What do you think about Jim Harbaugh coming to LA in a run first offense here?
He's got a lot of work to do to make that team better, for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a down year for the Chargers. I don't really expect much for them, and honestly, I don't know if I expect much the next couple of years either.
Yeah, we'll see with those weapons, and the defense ain't that good. Lastly, on Justin Herbert, he has averaged 26 completions per game in his 4-year career. 26 completions per game. Jim Harbaugh, he brings in new offensive coordinator Greg Roman. He's been with the Ravens for a lot of years. Greg Roman comes in. He has coached 162 career games. His quarterback has only completed 26 passes 16 times. 16 times has a Greg Roman quarterback completed 26 passes. That's what Justin Herbert averages. So not looking good in LA for Herbert, for sure.
Definitely not. I mean, obviously we could bring up Lamar Jackson because he doesn't throw the ball a lot. He runs a lot. So I know that's a little bit different. Yeah, they got to change that strategy, Cole Breezy, because no, Justin Herbert, no way. He ain't using his legs. I mean, he can, but come on. Let's get real.
The number 15 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast is going to be Detroit Lion, Jared Goff. The 30-year-old was in his 3rd year for the Lions last season. He was QB7 in fantasy, playing all 17 games. He passed for 4,575 yards. That was 2nd in the league, and 30 touchdowns. That was 4th in the league. Hell of a season for Jared Goff, QB7. We got him coming in right now at QB15, boys. I got him 13th, Max 21st, Zach 11th. Max, you're really pulling Jared Goff down. Why don't you like this guy?
You know, I might be sleeping. The fact that he doesn't use his legs, so that's part of the reason. Obviously, in fantasy football, you got to be able to use your legs. But Amon-Ra St. Brown is the real deal. And then we have Jameson Williams, who's supposed to, did I say it right? Jameson Williams. He's supposed to be big time. And then, of course, you got Sam Laporta. So I might be definitely too low on him, but I'm just not looking for that quarterback that doesn't run. Okay, I want to see a guy that can run.
Yep. Yeah, 21 rushing yards for Jared Goff last season. That's not going to get it done. But Zach, passing-wise, he's had 4 seasons over 4,400 yards. He was 2nd in the league last year. You got Jared Goff 11th. You're the highest. Why do you like Goff? He could possibly be on your team this year.
Looking like it.
Well, he's a gunslinger. And history has showed for him when he has a good team around him, he performs well.
Yeah.
So... yeah. I mean, if Detroit Lions perform like they did last year, he's going to have the same success that he did.
People want to shit on Jared Goff. He was the number 1 pick. He's gone to a
Yep.
Super Bowl. He's gone to an
Yeah.
NFC Championship game. Like people might be sleeping on Jared Goff, but yeah, Max, the rushing ability really limits his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
The number 14 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast is going to be Jacksonville Jaguar Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
The 25-year-old was quarterback 12 last season, playing in 16 games. He passed for 4,016 yards and 21 tutties. Rushed a little bit, 339 yards and 4 more scores on the ground. Pretty solid. I've got him 16th. Max has him 10th. Zach is the lowest at 18th.
Oh,
Zach, why are you bringing Trevor Lawrence down for us?
I don't think he's that great. I mean, and he doesn't have that much around him. Jaguars are historically a bad team. They're in an easy division. Who knows what's going to happen there? I mean, obviously, I think the Texans are going to take over that division quite a bit this year.
Okay.
I just think the Jaguars, they've been trying with Trevor Lawrence. They've been trying to put some stuff around him. They've been trying to get him to perform better, but I just don't really see him taking any more steps forward than what he has. I think he needs a new team.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
After
Which that's not going to happen with that contract.
After that
Yeah,
contract,
exactly.
yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence in his 3 seasons. Last year he was QB 12. Year before that, QB 7. Your rookie year, QB 23. He's never been above 25 passing tutties. Max, you got him at QB 10. Why could we see Trevor Lawrence on your roster this year?
I think this is one of those sleeper quarterbacks. Okay, we have a couple, obviously us. I think ESPN has him low as well. 17th, they got him ranked 17th. I think this is a sleeper quarterback. I'm telling you right now. Travis Etienne Jr. catches the ball in the backfield. Christian Kirk, do not sleep on Christian Kirk. Okay, he had a great season until he I forgot what he did, but he got hurt. Obviously, he got hurt. Gabe Davis, I'm shaky on Gabe Davis because we thought big things would happen with him and Josh Allen. Maybe things change here in Jacksonville. But one thing that one guy we're not talking about, Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU. Are you freaking kidding me? Why are we not talking about this guy? Why is he a wide receiver 3 over Gabe Davis? No, or behind Gabe Davis? No fucking way. This guy might be wide receiver 1 here.
Gabe Davis.
Jeez Louise. And then Evan Ingram had over 114 catches last season, guys. 114 catches. One of the best tight ends in the game. I think we're sleeping on Trevor Lawrence. He also rushes the ball. One thing that I will always say, I brought up many times, Trevor Lawrence, get some fucking sticky glue on your hands and stop dropping the damn ball. He fumbles too much. That's the one thing I got to say.
Last thing on Trevor Lawrence. He has less tutty passes. He has less touchdown passes than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers over the last 3 seasons. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers didn't play last year, and they still have more tutty passes than Trevor Lawrence over the last 3 years. So
Wow.
Never been above 25 Trevor Lawrence tutty passes in a season. So there might be a ceiling there.
But you wanted Danny Jones last year, and he threw like 12. He threw like 12 the year before that.
Because
So
he was coming off 700 rushing yards and 7 scores on the ground.
get a
So
damn
that's
jersey
why.
already. Get a jersey.
I told you I could wait till next year when he's at fucking Menards and I can get him on sale. Might be the last year for Danny Jones. That's the only time you're going to hear his name today because he ain't coming up. just to let you know. The number 13 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year. Boys, this one we might be the most off on. This one we might have the most range. Arizona Cardinal quarterback
Oh,
Kyler Murray.
okay.
Kyler, he is 27 years old this month. He only played 8 games last year after returning from that torn ACL that he suffered in week 14 in 2022. So he's about a year and a half. He's 2 seasons removed from it, where we see guys really coming back from those ACL tears. I've got Kyler Murray number 6, boys.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mr. Video Games himself, huh? Mr.
Video Games. Mr. Video, he's got a birthday coming up here. Hopefully he doesn't ask for any new ones. Maybe
Probably Madden 2026 or whatever.
college football
25.
game. The new college football game.
That's definitely on his birthday list.
I've got Kyler number 6. Max has him 16, and Zach has him 21st. Zach's totally out on him. Boys, let me give the case for Kyler here. We got a little
1 of 30. 1 of 30, everybody.
What's this one's name, Zach?
This is LV.
LV. Very nice. The case for Kyler Murray. His first 3 seasons, boys. His first 3 seasons when he was healthy. Came in rookie year, QB 8. Season after that, QB 3. Season after that, QB 10. He's never not been a QB 1. He's never not been a starter. He's never been below 3,700 passing yards. He's never been below 20 passing tutties. He's never been below 423 rushing yards. He rushed for 819 yards and 11 scores one year. 819 rushing yards and 11 tutties on the ground. This guy, like I said, he's a year and a half, 2 seasons removed from that ACL. He's going to be running more. 26 rushing tutties in 65 career games. He was quarterback 9 in a points per game basis after returning last year. So even coming off that ACL last year, when he played in those 8 games, quarterback 9 in points per game. Kyler Murray, I got him 6th. Zach 21st. My God, Max right in the middle, 16th. Why are you out on Kyler Murray, Zach?
Well, there's just a bunch of other players I'd rather have than him. He's 5'8". He could barely see over the offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a great new rookie wide receiver to throw to.
Oh,
I'd like to see what he could do with it, but altogether, I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to be pretty trash. So I'm just going to steer clear for him. If he has a great year, good for him, but I'm just going to look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Max, outside the new college football video game, the new Madden getting released, why are you out on Kyler Murray?
16th doesn't mean he's that I'm out on him. All right, just so we're clear. Around the middle of the pack, yeah. I'm looking at a quarterback 2. Okay, he might be my backup plan if he somehow slipped down there, which according to you, Cobreeze, he might be drafted into the 3rd round for you.
No, boy. It's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's on ESPN right now is being drafted as quarterback 10 in the 10th round.
Okay.
Quarterback 10 he's going.
Yeah, Kyler Murray, definitely very skilled. I love his speed. But Zach, you already brought it up. The guy is short, and he's going to take a lot of hits if he keeps on rushing the way that he does, unless he gets out of bounds, right? He's got to get out of bounds. I think his injury situation makes me nervous, but the Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride combo, Trey McBride, tight end. We'll talk about him another day on tight ends.
Yummy.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty damn good. But other than that, quarterback 2 for me. I would like him on my team as a quarterback 2.
The if he is fully healthy, just the rushing ability for me, having 819 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns, there's not a lot of guys that can do that. And if he's healthy and he can do that, he's going to be up there, boys. He's going to be up there. The number 12 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year is going to be from the Miami Dolphins, 26-year-old Tua Tagovailoa. Tua was QB 11 last year, playing all 17 games for the first time. He passed for a league-leading 4,624 yards to go along with 29 tutties. I've got Tua 15th. Zach's right there with me at 17th. And Max, you've always been high on your boy Tua. You got him 9th. Why might we see Tua on your roster this season?
Tua led the league last year in passing yards. He has Tyreek Hill, arguably the best wide receiver in the game. Jalen Waddle, top 20, easily wide receiver in the game. Hey, guess who signed? Odell Beckham? He's going to get a handful of touchdowns. He's going to get a handful. He'll get maybe 4. I'll call 4.
I'll take the under.
Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, with the running ability. The one thing Tua doesn't do is he doesn't rush. He passes the ball. But I'm telling you, the weapons of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, when you have Tyreek Hill, man, it is a different game. You know what it is, Kyler Murray? I hope you're listening. It's a video game. All right. You have Tyreek Hill who can beat anyone on the field, beat any quarterback guarding him. It's a video game. Touchdown after touchdown. I like Tua at number 9 as the top 10 quarterback, people. I know people are sleeping. You guys are sleeping on him. ESPN's sleeping on him. I like Tua too damn much.
Tua definitely has some great weapons, a lot of speed, great play calling. Zach, you're the lowest here on Tua at 17th. We see his last 3 seasons since he's took over in Miami. Last year he was quarterback 11. Year before that, quarterback 15. Year before that, quarterback 25. So Max, you would have him having a career high season. Zach, you got him right there where he's been, quarterback 17. What do you think about Tua?
One good hit and Tua is done. Like we already seen him. One good hit, he's done.
Scary.
And I'm not gonna say all of it because he's talented, but so much of his success is from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
What if Tyreek Hill goes down?
Yeah.
That's a lot of production that the Miami Dolphins are gonna be losing. Maybe I don't know. We'll see, but I'll be looking for Tua as my quarterback too for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think that's all I really see him as.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Excuse me. One more thing on Tua. He definitely, as that season goes along, you look at the splits from his first half to his second half when the weather starts getting bad and it gets colder out. The stats aren't even close, boys.
Yep.
The stats aren't even close when you compare his second half to his first half of his seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
when
he's
he gets
not playing in sunny Miami.
Exactly.
You're going up to New York. You're going up to
Buffalo.
You're going up to New England. Okay, so
Mhm.
definitely a different story with the weather up there. The number 11 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year is gonna be rookie from the Chicago Bears, the number 1 pick in the draft, the 2022 Heisman winner from USC, 23 in November, Caleb Williams. Boys, you're obviously, I think we could all guess, you boys are both Bears fans. You're going to be higher on Caleb Williams than me. Zach, you're the highest at 9. You got him in the top 10, baby. Max, you're right behind him at 11th. And you know what? I'm just a little lower, boys. And this might be my one guy that I'm going to say I might be too low on. But I got Caleb Williams 17th. Okay. I got him just below a couple guys, like Trevor Lawrence and Tua and Herbert, a couple more established guys like Goff. But Caleb Williams, I don't think we've ever seen a number 1 picked quarterback have this level of weapons. DJ Moore, my goodness, a breakout season last year. Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, the number 9 pick. Cole Kmet from Notre Dame. DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. I'm going to stop talking right now. Zach, big Bears fan, tell us why you got him in your top 10, Caleb Williams.
From all the reports that I've been reading, which is, every other day, every other week, he's just vibing with every wide receiver. They're saying that he's just on point with them. The only thing that's going to be holding him back is the Bears' offensive line. Other than that, the Bears threw the house at him. They're really going to give him a chance. I think that he's going to step up. He played in Los Angeles at USC. That's a very, very public school. They're always on television. He has been dealing with the media ever since, probably second year in college. I think he is ready for the hype. He could be a very big, famous athlete in the city of Chicago. People, if he has any lick of success, people are going to fall in love with him. There's going to be Caleb Williams jerseys everywhere. He's going to be on every billboard. He's ready for it. Chicago is giving him the keys, and all he has to do is start the engine and drive.
Max, how excited are you about this number 1 pick from USC, Caleb Williams, going to your Chicago Bears? What's the excitement like?
Oh, ecstatic. Definitely right before the draft happened, when we had that draft episode called Breezy, I had my worries. I had my worries about him being a weirdo. But I will say what Zach has already brought up, he is vibing for sure. Okay, his confidence level, from what I'm seeing, maybe it's a different style. Maybe it's just different in front of the cameras. I don't know. Maybe but he knows how to talk to the media. He knows how to talk to the media. He knows how. When we're seeing him produce in practice, man, I got to tell you, you got to be really excited about this. His confidence level is. I don't know if I've seen this in a rookie But as far as a quarterback goes, I don't think I've ever seen a confidence level from a rookie. Maybe C.J. Stroud from last year is the one that I'm thinking of. His his confidence was unreal.
Yeah.
But as a Bears fan, we're ready to roll. We're ready to roll, and we're ready to actually compete in this freaking division against the Packers and against the Detroit Lions. Vikings are going to suck, but those Bears, we're going to compete, man. We're going to compete this year. I can't wait.
I'm definitely excited about Caleb Williams. I'm not going to have him on my team. I'm too low on him, but he's definitely a guy that I see being in my top 10 heading into next season with those kind of weapons. My goodness. The number 10 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year, we're going out to the Bay, San Francisco 49er, Brock Purdy. The 25-year-old was quarterback 6 last season, starting 16 games, passing for 4,280 yards. That was 5th in the NFL, and 31 tutties. That was 3rd. This was his first season as a full-time starter. I've got Brock Purdy 10. Max has him 14th. Zach has him 8th. Zach, why do you like Brock Purdy?
He's in a great system that sets him up for success. I mean, the 49ers, yes, they have a lot of good players. But even if they had average or a little bit above average players, I think they could plug guys in like that and they could all be successful. All this question with Ayuk and everything, maybe they trade him to the Browns and maybe they get Amari Cooper for him. That'd be great for him. I mean, that's just another person to throw to. It's possible. So I think Brock Purdy, and he's shown that he has stepped up and he's willing to make the throws that he needs to do and do the plays that he needs to do. He's not trying to go out there and be some hero. He's just doing his job, and he's had success because of it.
Exactly. Great analysis there, Zach. Love Kyle Shanahan's system for sure. Brock Purdy, he was 4th in the MVP last year, and he led the NFL in touchdown percentage, yards per attempt, yards per completion, passer rating, and quarterback rating. Max, are you sleeping on Brock Purdy?
Quarterback 2 for me, boys. The only reason, we already brought it up. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about Debo. I'm nervous about Brandon Ayuk. I'm nervous about Christian McCaffrey. And you know what? We might as well throw in George Kittle because George Kittle always gets hurt. Last season, he had a great season. George Kittle was great last season. Don't get me wrong. He was back. He might have missed a couple games, but previous seasons, he has been hurt. I'm just a little bit shaky. Quarterback 2 for sure. If he's available in those late rounds, 10th, 11th, I'm snagging him.
The quarterback 9 for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year is Green Bay Packer Jordan Love. He's going to be 26 years old in November. He was quarterback 5 last year in his first season as a starter, starting all 17 games. He passed for 4,159 yards and 32 tutties. Those 32 passing tutties were 2nd in the NFL, fellas. I have Jordan Love 11th. Max has him 7th. Zach's right there with Jordan Love at 10th. Max, you're the highest on Jordan Love. Why do you like this guy in the NFC North?
Because the Green Bay Packers rule the North, and they always their system of play, it doesn't matter who's coaching, they just always figure it out. I hate saying that because I'm a Bears fan. I hate saying it, but Jordan Love stepped up, and Cobrizi, we said that the Packers were going to be the bottom of the barrel last year in the NFC. We queefed. We freaking queefed. This guy, I was not expecting a guy who hasn't played as a starting quarterback before to step in and play like he's done it for years, playing like he's like, I'm the next Aaron Rodgers I'm the next Brett Favre. Like, it's freaking unbelievable. The signing of Josh Jacobs, I think, is outstanding. I think the running game is going to be outstanding for the Packers. And Josh Jacobs also catches the ball in the backfield. I think Christian Watson's going to have a big year this year. Romeo Doubs, I wouldn't sleep on either. There's a lot of these wide receivers that I'm naming right now that you might be like, I don't know. We haven't really seen it. I'm like, this might be the year where these guys look out. Look out.
Somebody's going to pop there for sure. Zach, Jordan Love, he started 1 game in his first 3 seasons. 1 game in his first 3 seasons as a Packer. Are you confident Jordan Love can continue last season's success into this year?
Yeah, I am. I think he may have to take a step back, 5, 10. I mean, that's not that big of a step, but I mean, I think that's a really good thing to keep a young quarterback behind someone for a few years, let them learn, let them kind of see what the NFL is about, see what works, see what doesn't, and then when they finally get their opportunity, I honestly think they're better.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many of these rookies that get thrown in right away, and none of them ever work out.
Yeah, a lot of quarterbacks picked in the top 10 that we don't see anymore.
No, let's talk about Bryce Young real quick in Carolina. He doesn't have anyone to throw it to. Like, that just sucks, man.
Yeah.
He gets put in this system. He doesn't even know what to do. The guy doesn't even.
No.
I just real quick.
Yeah, there's no leadership on that team to help him out.
Nothing.
Like,
nothing.
he doesn't know how to be a leader because no one taught him how to be.
Yeah, he's like 22,
NFL.
and he's 22. Give him a break. Jeez.
Yeah.
Last only thing on Bryce Young here. Obviously, we're not going to talk about him. I have him 19th. Actually, I'm the highest of all of us. Bryce Young could surprise some people this year with the new head coach, Dave Canales. So, might just be a little low on Bryce Young. Might be one of those guys that could pop.
Okay.
Sorry, we didn't know you were dating him.
Jersey? You got a jersey there, Cobra? Lots of jerseys for you. Lots of jerseys for you.
If I must explain real quick on Bryce Young, since we're not going to talk about him. Dave Canales, the new head coach, 2 years ago, he was in Seattle with Geno Smith. We know what Geno Smith did 2 years ago with a comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
Last season, Geno Smith was nothing. Why? Because Dave Canales went to Tampa Bay, had a breakout season with Baker Mayfield. Okay. Now Dave Canales is going to Carolina. I'm just connecting the dots. We'll see what happens. I think he's going to really improve Bryce Young.
So Carolina has Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, Jonathan Mingo. That is not DK Metcalf,
No.
Tyler Lockett, and Njigba, and that's not Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
Carolina
all I gotta say.
Carolina might win 3 games, but Bryce Young's going to have better stats than last year for sure.
I agree.
Well, let's hope.
The number 8 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast this year. We're going out to Dallas, Texas. Cowboy Dak Prescott. The 31-year-old was quarterback 3 last year, playing in all 17, passing for 4,516 yards. That was 3rd in the NFL, and 36 touchdowns, fellas. 36 passing touchdowns, led the NFL by 4. Dak had a great season last year. I've got him 7th. Max has him 13th. Zach also has him 7th. So Zach and I are high on Dak. Max, why aren't you getting Dak Prescott on your team this year? You've had him in the past.
Definitely. Quarterback 2 for me. Quarterback 2. I think this is the year that it's going to be going down because I'm looking at these guys. Okay, first of all, the running back 1 is Ezekiel Elliott again.
Again.
Right?
Again.
Okay. That was when I looked at that for the first time. I'm like, really? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then obviously CD Lamb, stud. He's going to put up numbers. They're going to put up numbers together. But then Brandon Cooks getting older. Jalen Tolbert. I do like Jake Ferguson. But how many touchdowns is Jake Ferguson going to get? Because I think he had like 5 last year.
Yeah, he gets 6 or 7 maybe.
Maybe. CD Lamb. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. Considering that he's going to be, well, I don't want to make any announcements, but you can assume that I would keep CD Lamb. If he gets 20 touchdowns this year, great. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not seeing it. That's why he's 13th for me, boys. I don't know. I'm not that excited about it.
Zach, why are you more excited about Dak Prescott?
He's a fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
He puts up numbers for fantasy. That's the only reason I would have him. I wouldn't want him on my real team. Even though, did he win MVP last year? Am I remember that correctly?
Lamar
did. He was in maybe 2nd in voting then or something.
Maybe.
I remember he was really close to MVP with one of these past 2 years. But yeah, he's a fantasy quarterback. He put up those numbers for you, get consistent, 20 plus, averaging 20 plus points a game, So if he's there and, anyone that I had ranked higher than him isn't there, I would definitely go for him.
Dak Prescott in his 6 healthy seasons, he was quarterback 3, quarterback 7, quarterback 2, quarterback 10, quarterback 11, quarterback 6. So you're getting
pretty good.
Getting a fantasy relevant guy right there for sure if he's healthy. The number 7 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast this year. Lot of question marks on this, guys, fellas. Lot of question marks. 22-year-old Indianapolis Colt, Anthony Richardson. I'm the highest on him. I'm the highest on him at number 5.
Get a jersey.
I think Sam beat me to it.
Yeah, I bet.
I got him 5th. Max has him 8th. Zach has him 13th.
Okay.
Let me talk about Anthony Richardson here. We know he was the 4th pick in the 2023 NFL draft out of Florida. He's 6'4", 245. He runs a 4.45 40. That big of a body moving at 4.45. My goodness, he reminds me of Cam Newton here.
Yeah,
he reminds me exactly of Cam Newton. Anthony Richardson, he played 4 games last year before season-ending shoulder surgery. Didn't protect himself on the field going down. Pop that baby. But he had 4 rushing touchdowns in those 4 games. We know the rushing stats are going to be there. That's why I'm on him. That ceiling for that rushing. He could be a Lamar Jackson type of a mountain rusher. I got Richardson 5th. That's why I'm so high on him. Max is right there in the middle at 8th. Zach, why do you hate Anthony Richardson at 13th?
I don't hate Anthony Richardson, but like I said, there's a lot of questions about him. I haven't done that much research into him yet to see how healthy or how not healthy he is. And I just don't like the Colts. I don't trust the Colts. I don't think they're good. I don't think they're going to be good this year. So I'm going to try and steer clear of him. If he's there for my QB2 and I'm able to get him, I'll definitely go for him. And then hopefully, he has a great season. I'm able to bump him up to QB1. But for now, I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant.
Max, do you not trust the Colts like Zach does?
Colts almost made the playoffs last year when Jonathan Taylor decided to stick his thumb up his butt and sit for 4 games. How many games? 5 games? 4 games?
Who knows? Too many.
Too many. Whatever. If he would have played, they might have made the playoffs.
Dude.
That's all I got to say. What, Gardner Minshew? Right, Gardner Minshew? Yeah, come on. Coaching staff is really good. Colts organization is great. They really are. This division, by the way, can't wait to break it down. This is more fun than we're thinking. I'm even looking at the Titans, dude. Like, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. But Anthony Richardson, man, 245 pounds. That is going to be a hard guy to take down. The question is, how good is his passing skills? How many times is he going to pass the ball to Michael Pittman Jr.? Is Michael Pittman Jr. going to break out? Because I don't know about the other guys. Josh Downs, Adonai Mitchell. I don't know who these guys are. The tight end, Kylan Granson. Don't know who they are. Is he going to pass the damn ball? I don't know.
The passing ceiling is definitely going to be capped for Anthony Richardson, but the rushing floor, oh my goodness, it's just going to keep going up.
Look out.
The number 6 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year. We're going out to Cincinnati, boys. Going to be Joe Burrow. He played 10 games last year. He came into the season with a strained calf. Then he tore a ligament in his wrist later on in the season. But in those 10 games he's played, quarterback 25. Excuse me. Let me say that again. Quarterback 25 on a points per game basis. Points per game basis, quarterback 25. That ain't good, boys. Joe Burrow, he's the lowest for me. I got him 8th. Both of you boys have him at 6th. Max, I know you're a Joe Burrow guy. Why do you like him this year?
It's his weapons, man. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, the goose himself.
Could be something.
They signed Zach Moss, which Zach Moss actually showed from being on the Colts that he was actually a pretty decent running back. And then Chase Brown, don't sleep on Chase Brown as a solid RB2, man. Yeah, very solid. He might take that RB1 spot. Joe Burrow is a smart quarterback, man. He moved to the Super Bowl. Okay, let's not sleep on that. Jamar Chase, elite wide receiver. T. Higgins, very, very good wide receiver. Jamar Chase, top 5. T. Higgins, easily top 20. Yeah. And that's the reason why. He's a smart quarterback. The one thing I will say is what we talked about last week is that stupid-ass haircut. It definitely made me push him down. I had him, I think, around 8, Cobrazy, and then I looked at the weapons again. I was like, I do like the weapons. But him with that stupid-ass haircut definitely made me want to push him down even further. I don't know if I want to deal with that. I'm not dealing with Slim Shady. Okay,
Slim Cincy. Slim Cincy.
Oh my, it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Joe Burrow, I'm the lowest on him here, boys. He's gonna be 28 in December. He's only played 4 years. That's a little older. 28 in December. He's only played 4 years, and 2 of those years, season-ending injuries. 2 out of his 4 seasons, season-ending injuries. When you're in the top 8 here, you're in the top 5. You got to be splitting hairs with these guys. And for Joe Burrow, he's just a little bit lower for me. Zach, do you think you could have Joe Burrow on your team this year?
Yeah, it's a gamble. It is. but if it pays off, it's going to pay off. We've seen what he could do. He's good. I mean, like how Max said, he's got all those players to throw to, give the ball to. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. And Joe Burrow's 2 healthy seasons, quarterback 4 and quarterback 8. So, yeah, he's got it for sure. The 5th ranked quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year, the reigning offensive rookie of the year, Houston Texan, 23 years old in October, C.J. Stroud. He was quarterback 9 last year as a rookie, playing in 15 games, passing for 4,108 yards and 23 tutties. Guys, he might have the best weapons in the league. He might have the best weapons in the league with Nico, Diggs, Tank, Schultz, Mixon. My goodness, those are some good weapons. I'm a little lower, though. I got him at 9th. I got him at 9th, right where he finished last year.
You ain't getting him. You ain't going to get him. You ain't going to sniff him. Don't even just stop talking about him. Stop talking about him.
I'm 85% in on C.J. Stroud. I'm not 100% in like you fellas. You both got him at 5th. Max, since you're all worked up, why is C.J. Stroud going to be your quarterback this year?
I want him. This is the guy I want.
Wow.
For Max's fantasy football team, I want C.J. Stroud. I would have him number 1, but there's obviously guys that are better than him. That if somehow I could have the option to have the other guys, I'm going to take the other guys. But this is the one that I think is reasonable to drop down in the draft, maybe a 6th, 7th round pick.
Let me tell you this: he's going mid-5th.
Oh, okay.
Are you spending a mid-5th on C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, I would. I want C.J. Stroud with those weapons. I love his demeanor on the field. I'm ready. Yeah. I want C.J. Stroud.
He proved us wrong last year. Rookie of the year, quarterback 9 in fantasy, quarterback 5 in ADP, quarterback 5 for you, Zach. Are you going to be battling Max for C.J. Stroud this year?
It's a possibility.
You spending a mid-5th round pick on CJ?
Might have to. I mean, he's good. He is good. And I think his confidence just keeps getting higher and higher. And he's going to show us what he could do.
Yeah, I love his weapons with those 3 receivers and a really solid tight end. And, Joe Mixon's no scrub. Joe Mixon had a hell of a season last year. So
Mixon is a consistent running back.
Yeah, man.
If you name a quarterback's top 5 weapons, Houston might be having the sexiest weapons. But the top 5, oh my goodness.
Very good.
The number 4 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year. We're going out to Baltimore, fellas. 27-year-old, reigning MVP, Lamar Jackson. He was quarterback 4 last year in fantasy, playing 16 games. He passed for 3,678 yards and 24 tutties, but he rushed for 821 yards. That was first amongst quarterbacks and 5 more scores on the ground. I've got Lamar 4th. Max has him 4th. Zach's the highest at 3rd. Zach, you going to spend up on Lamar this year?
Oh, yeah. The addition of Derrick Henry, that's going to open up so much for his game. His passing game and his running game.
Yum, yum.
I mean, have a fake handoff to Derrick Henry. He runs off the one way. Lamar Jackson runs off the opposite. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And Lamar Jackson has shown that he is a great elite quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
he is.
Lamar Jackson, I think the only thing he's missing, he's got 2 MVPs. I think he's just missing that Super Bowl. Derrick Henry coming over with that defense also.
Yeah. I think they're hungry.
They're going to be in this discussion for sure. Max, you got him 4th overall in your quarterback rankings. Are you going to spend a mid-4th round pick on Lamar?
Oh, I don't know. These guys that we're about to name, you got to go early. You got to go so early for them, and it makes me nervous to do that. But also at the same time, you know that you're going to have an elite quarterback that gives you 20 to 25 fantasy points a game. Lamar Jackson is one of the most elite quarterbacks, and one thing that I really like is Zay Flowers. His weapon of Zay Flowers now had a great season last year. It's his 2nd year. He's ready to roll now. He's got his favorite weapon. They're going to build some chemistry. Look out for Zay Flowers and Lamar Jackson this year, boys.
Moving on here. First time ever on the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast. We had 3 different guys ranked number 1 at quarterback. We had 3 different number 1s. But overall, the number 3 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports podcast this year, my number 1 guy, 28-year-old Buffalo Bill, Josh Allen. He was quarterback 1 last season, playing on an all 17, passing for 4,306 yards. That was fourth in the NFL, along with 29 tutties. He rushed for 524 yards. That was fourth amongst quarterbacks. And 15 fucking touchdowns on the ground. My God.
Yep.
Like I said, Josh Allen's number 1 for me, number 3 for Max, and number 4 for Zach. Josh Allen's 5 years as a full-time starter in Buffalo. Quarterback 1 last year, quarterback 2, quarterback 1, quarterback 1, quarterback 6.
Ooh.
Zach, you're the lowest on Josh Allen at 4. Why aren't you getting him this year?
He is a elite fantasy quarterback. Can't do shit in the playoffs. And his team they are losing people around him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Buffalo Bills are just taking a downturn right now.
Mm-hmm.
Can Josh Allen still produce as high as he has been able to in fantasy? Probably, but I think that this year it's going to be harder.
Mm-hmm.
Max, you got Josh Allen number 3. Why are you out on him?
Rushing ability outstanding. The fact that he can get himself in the end zone from rushing is, I mean, I put him number 3, Cole Breezy. Come on now. I put him number 3. Let's settle down. Listen to his weapons though.
Yeah.
Khalil Shakir.
Nah.
Who?
Nah.
Keon Coleman, who they drafted. I don't know anything about him. I have no idea.
Big body.
Okay.
All right. Florida State.
They signed Curtis Samuel, who I do like, but he's a wide receiver 3 apparently. Shaky. Now, the one guy I will name that I think is going to be a top 5 tight end, Dalton Kincaid. That's going to be his number 1 weapon. It will be Dalton Kincaid. Yeah.
I think so.
But other than that, dude, the weapons are shaky for me. Okay, he doesn't have Stephon Diggs, a top 10 wide receiver anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes me slip him down a little bit. That's all I got.
I'll also throw in James Cook out of the backfield. I think he's going to get a lot of targets this year.
Sure. Yeah.
Josh Allen, he's very healthy. He's only missed 1 game over the last 5 years. He's had 4 straight seasons over 4,280 passing yards, 4 straight years over 29 passing tutties. In his 6-year career, he's averaging 7 rushing attempts per game. I think that's going to be even higher, having to rely on his legs a little bit more this year. He's got 53 rushing tutties in 94 career games. That's really good. Josh Allen, my number 1. The number 2 quarterback for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Number 1 overall for Maxie Faulkner. We're going out to Philadelphia. 26 years old this month. Jalen Hurts. He was quarterback 2 last season, playing in all 17 games. He passed for 3,858 yards and 23 tutties. Those were both career highs. He rushed for 605 yards. That was 3rd amongst quarterbacks, and 15 fucking rushing touchdowns on the ground, tied with Josh Allen. My God. Jalen Hurts, his passing yards have increased each season. His passing tutties have increased each season. And his rushing tutties have increased each season. This guy's getting better. 41 rushing tutties in 62 career games. He's got Kellen Moore now as the OC. Max, tell us why Jalen Hurts is your number 1 quarterback this season.
I mean, enough said, Cole Breezy. He continues to get better. His rushing ability is outstanding. Big ass body. Try taking that guy down. Try. Go ahead and try. Okay, he's gonna throw you down first. Maybe you get lucky. One of your cleat gets stuck on his jersey and it pulls him down. The addition of Saquon Barkley just put these Eagles. They were already elite, man. They were already elite, but the addition of Saquon, this is a Super Bowl team. I would like to know who else do you think from the NFC is going to the Super Bowl? The Eagles got to be the front runner right now. Got to be. And then, of course, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. Weapons galore for this guy. And, dude, this guy is one of the best fantasy options that you have. One of the best fantasy options you have.
Jalen Hurts, quarterback 1 for Max, like I said, quarterback 3 for me. Zach right in the middle at quarterback 2. Why do you like Jalen Hurts this year, Zach?
Well, I think last year was a pretty big disappointment for the Eagles, just all together. So they're definitely hungry. They want to get back into the Super Bowl. The addition of Saquon Barkley, I think, is going to do the same thing that Derrick Henry is going to do for Lamar Jackson. Just going to open up his game much more. He's got great people to throw to. He produces, and to my knowledge, I don't think they ruled against the tush push. So there goes
Correct.
all his rushing touchdowns again.
Correct. The only thing I'll say on that is I don't think he's going to get 15 this year with the addition of Saquon Barkley. That's just why keep pounding that rugby style tush push for Jalen Hurts? Why keep pounding that when you got Saquon Barkley? Jalen Hurts isn't going to get 15 this year. That's crazy.
I don't know, man.
On that 1 yard line, just saying.
Yeah, I think it's a
Just
lot
saying.
easier for the quarterback on that 1 yard line to get in there than the running back would.
Yeah. 15,
Especially the way they do that.
The number one quarterback for the 2024 fantasy.
One second. Have you seen Saquon Barkley's legs compared to DeAndre Swift's legs that before that?
I'm sure it's not even close.
He's gonna lift up fucking Jalen Hurts and throw him over the goal line.
Definitely like the addition of Saquon Barkley in Philly. Definitely like that a lot. The number one quarterback for the 2024 fantasy football season for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Number 2 for me. Number 2 for Max. And at the top of the board for Zach, Kansas City Chief, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is going to be 29 next month. He was QB 8 last season, playing in 16 games, passing for 4,183 yards and 27 tutties. Patty Mahomes is the richest man in fucking sports. Part owner of the Royals and some soccer team. Number 1 quarterback for us. Number 1 for Zach, 2 for me, 2 for Max. Zach, why is he at the top of your board?
He's the best. I mean, he's the best in the league. The Chiefs, even when you don't think they're going to be, they are still the best team in the league. He's going to do it again. I don't see him regressing at all.
These last 6 years that Patrick Mahomes has been the starter for Kansas City in fantasy, he was QB 8 last year. Year before that, QB 1, QB 4, QB 4, QB 7, QB 1. Max, what was the tiebreaker for you between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes at the top?
The rushing. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Patty Mahomes doesn't run as much. He'll give you maybe 30 yards, maybe if you're lucky on that day. But he doesn't rush the ball into the end zone like Jalen Hurts does. But he does have the weapons. Okay, yeah. Isaiah Pacheco is an elite running back. Real quick, Rashee Rice, who knows the hell if he even plays because of his off-season shenanigans. We have no idea. But let's listen to our wide receiver 2 and 3. We have Marquise Brown. Not bad.
Marquise Brown,
yeah. But then Xavier Worthy, they decided to get a draft pick out of Texas. Look out. Yeah. And then, of course, Travis Kelce. He's got some weapons, man. He's got some weapons. So expect a big season from Patty Mahomes once again. As always, the Kansas City Chiefs are the New England Patriots. Okay, when we were all excited in the early 2000s, up to 2015 or whatever, now that's the Kansas City Chiefs. So there you go.
Well, boys, that's going to do us here for this top 20 quarterback countdown for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. Quickly, I'm going to run through it real quick. At the top, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud at 5. Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love. In 10th was Brock Purdy. Rookie Caleb Williams, Tua. Kyler Murray, 13th. Then Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, Kirk, Captain Queef Cousins, Aaron Ayahuasca Rodgers, and Baker Mayqueef from the fucking Browns. That's our top 20 here for the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast. A cumulative ranking from the 3 of us gentlemen. Zach, appreciate you coming out this week. How did you feel about making these rankings, and do you think you need to change anything after hearing ours?
I mean, there's definitely some things to go back and consider, but this has just been fun. We've been doing this for a long time in fantasy football, just together before the season, just making our rankings. And do I always follow them when I'm in the draft? No, but it's just fun to do before.
Hell yeah, definitely. Like you said, we've been doing these rankings long before the podcast ever started. Before the podcast ever started. So it's awesome that we can press record now and share it with the people, share a little bit of insight. Thank you for everybody coming out. Max, what do you think about your quarterback list now that we've gone through ours?
probably going to change. It will probably change. It always does. It always does. Right before the draft starts, there's all these off-field shenanigans and all this shit that happens in the next 4 weeks. Probably going to be slipping up and down. But for right now, I'm pretty happy with what I got, at least for the top 10 anyway. But
Yeah, right up until draft day, boys. The rankings have to be fluid. Have to be fluid. Like I asked Queef Sam where he had somebody the other day, and he said, "Oh, I haven't finished my rankings yet." Well, your rankings are never finished, Queef. No. Okay, you got to be fluid with it. All right, Zach. Anything you got for the people before you get out of here?
Thanks for watching, guys.
Hell yeah, Max. Tell the people where they can find this and get us out of here, man.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming out to the Don't Tell Mama Sports Podcast tonight. We really hope that we helped you with your fantasy football quarterbacks. Get a league ready to roll. Get some guys. Get a group of guys you don't even know. Get a group of people that you don't know from the gym. Like, hey, you just want to join some fantasy football? But some guys are probably like, okay, yeah, I don't know, I like fantasy football. Yeah, it sounds good. But you can find us here on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And let's not forget, thank you everyone for commenting and subscribing. Cole Breezy, we're at 3.21 thousand subscribers now. That's an addition of 96 subscribers in 1 week. So thank you everyone for joining. We really appreciate you. Cole Breezy, are you nervous? I'm sorry. What jersey are you going to wear for next week out of all these quarterback jerseys you have now? Anthony Richardson? You're going to borrow that from Sam?
You know I can't get a Colt jersey. And fucking Queef Sam and Queef Wilson might have bought him out. The way those guys are drooling over him. I got him high, but they probably got him higher.
They probably bought him out on whatever sport website jersey it is, and then they're selling it like like how people are selling the fruit stands. They're selling the fruit stands. We're selling jerseys now, authentic, $50 extra. Good business.
Bought them in bulk.